When was the peak of your life? Have you ever felt like your peak was in your teens or 20s? I used to think that way, nostalgically looking back on the good old days. But now, I've discovered something transformative, a secret self-alignment. That has allowed me to continually update my life's peak every single year, even at my current age. And honestly, I'm incredibly grateful. Truly, deeply thankful. Why? Because every time I raise my life's peak, my happiness also reaches new heights year after year. Hello, this is Japanese Urban Sage. Today's video is not just about identity, it's also about how this secret self-alignment can provide the following life-changing benefits. Rock-solid mental stability. Resilience to challenges, your happiness won't plummet during tough times. Freedom from worrying about others' opinions. A life that's no longer a competition with others. Continuous growth and happiness, even in your 50s, 60s, and beyond. In Eastern philosophy, particularly in the practices of Taoism, the goal is to become what I call an unstoppable person, someone who remains happy and free from anxiety, even with nothing at all. And one of the foundational pillars of that philosophy is the secret self-alignment I'll be sharing with you today. Most people don't know about this, but once you understand it, you might say, "Wow, I wish I'd known this sooner." So if you're ready to unlock the secrets of a consistently upward life trajectory, stick around. Here's the roadmap for today's video. What is identity? The difference between a shaky foundation and an unshakable core. Revealed, the secret to continuous growth and success. Let's begin with the first question. What is identity? Identity is your sense of self, your selfhood, or a self-consistency. It's what defines who you are and what makes you, you. Here's an example. Imagine you're dreaming of being a butterfly, flying freely. It feels so real. But then you wake up and think, wait, who am I again? In that moment of confusion, you recall, oh, I work at XYZ company. I'm married to John. I live in this house, and I drive that car. Those recollections affirm your sense of self, your identity. Examples of identity. Your identity is made up of elements like your job and financial situation, your family or romantic relationships, your home and possessions, social circles and how others perceive you, your hobbies and passions. In other words, your identity often reflects what you value most in life, your life's foundation, so to speak. But what happens when that foundation shifts or crumbles? Shaky foundations versus unshakable cores. Life is unpredictable, and the elements we build our identity on can change or even disappear. For instance, losing a romantic partner through breakup or divorce. Retiring after years of defining yourself through your job. Empty nest syndrome for parents when children leave home. These experiences can lead to an identity crisis, leaving you wondering, who am I now? When your foundation is shaken, it can destabilize your mental health and self-worth. For example, if your sense of identity is tied to financial success, driving a luxury car, or holding a high-status job, losing those things might make you feel like I'm a failure. I'm not good enough. Sound familiar? External versus internal alignment. Here's the core issue. External alignment, when your identity depends on external factors like relationships, possessions, or achievements. Internal alignment, when your identity comes from within, rooted in your values, character, and personal growth. External factors are constantly in flux, relationships change, careers end, material possessions come and go. When you rely on these, your life becomes a roller coaster of highs and lows. But an internal alignment, rooted in your personal growth and self-improvement, creates stability. A life without comparisons. Here's the real kicker. External alignment often leads to endless comparisons. How much money do I have compared to them? Is my partner more successful than theirs? This constant race drains happiness and fuels insecurity. But internal alignment liberates you from that competition. Instead of comparing yourself to others, you'll focus on your own growth. When was your life's peak? So, let me ask you again. When was the peak of your life? Better yet, wouldn't you like to keep updating your peak every single year? If your identity is tied to external factors like career, family, or appearance, your life's peak might come early, perhaps in your 20s or 50s. But we live in an era where life expectancy is 100 years. Why settle for a peak that happens decades before the end of your life? Instead, consider this: the power of internal growth. Internal growth, like improving your mindset, gratitude, or resilience, is a foundation that remains stable and keeps growing. For example, appreciating the small things, like having a meal, becoming more positive and compassionate, developing new skills, or deepening your knowledge. These forms of self-improvement are cumulative. Unlike external factors, they're not subject to loss or decay. The result? A life where your happiness, confidence, and sense of fulfillment continually rise, no matter your age. And perhaps most importantly, internal growth frees you from the burden of comparison, allowing you to live authentically and peacefully. In the next section, I'll reveal the secret behind creating this upward trajectory in your life. Let's continue. A true story, the fate of a man without looks or talent. Damn it, why me? Why is life so unfair? Fresh out of college, I began my first year as a substitute teacher at a middle school, only to be bullied relentlessly by my own students. By the end of that year, I left the teaching profession in disgrace, feeling like a complete failure. Unemployed and aimless, I spent my days shuffling to job centers, searching for work. At the time, I reached out to a woman I liked, eager to share some good news. I've become a teacher at a middle school. Her response? Sorry, I have a boyfriend now. Please don't contact me again. The rejection hit me hard. Losing my job and my confidence, I found myself with absolutely nothing. I had hit rock bottom. Back then, I had no idea that relying on external factors for my identity could destabilize my mental health. I didn't understand why my life felt like such a wild roller coaster. Looking around me, I saw others who seemed to have it all. They're good-looking, they have wealthy parents, or they're naturally talented. These winners were thriving in their 20s, enjoying life in ways I could only dream of. Damn it, I want to be one of them. I want success, now. Desperate for immediate results, I fell into the trap of chasing get-rich-quick schemes and the promises of manifestation techniques that claimed you could attract anything instantly. Reality, however, was far less forgiving. The harsh truth. Years went by, and I remained stuck in the same miserable cycle. I began to suspect that without real inner growth, no amount of manifestation would bring me success. But I resisted the idea of slow, deliberate self-improvement. It felt inefficient and like a massive detour. Why should I take the long road when so many others succeed effortlessly? Look at them, young, beautiful, talented, and already winning at life. I was angry and frustrated. If I can't succeed while I'm young, what's the point? Yet, deep down, I knew the truth. Without developing myself internally, I couldn't produce the results I craved. Accepting this truth meant giving something up. I had to let go of my obsession with instant results. The turning point. At first, it felt like surrender. Fine, I'll stop chasing shortcuts. But this is so unfair. I hated it. I hated that I couldn't rely on talent, looks, or luck to coast through life. But there was no other choice. So, I reluctantly started focusing on inner growth. And looking back, that decision marked the beginning of my transformation. The science of self-mastery. As humans, we're wired for instant gratification. This is known as the present bias or immediacy effect. But for the first time in my life, I managed to go against this instinct. I made a conscious choice to resist my impulses and prioritize long-term growth. In spiritual terms, this was the beginning of my awakening. A new perspective. At first, my journey of self-improvement was purely pragmatic. I wanted to become successful, wealthy, and admired. But as I progressed, I began to shift my focus. I realized that my initial goals, money, status, and recognition, weren't enough. What I truly wanted was happiness and fulfillment. Ironically, my dire circumstances made this shift easier. I was living in a rundown apartment with no space for a washing machine. I ate one meal a day, usually canned mackerel and rice. I had no money, no partner, and no job prospects. From the outside, I looked like a complete failure. But this lack of external distractions allowed me to focus inward. The secret of the sages. In Eastern philosophy, particularly Taoism, the goal is to cultivate an unshakable sense of inner peace, a state of happiness that doesn't depend on external circumstances. I wanted to be like the sages, people who could remain content even when they had nothing. So, I began training myself to find joy in the simplest things. I'm grateful to have food today. Hot water flows from my faucet. How incredible is that? At first glance, my life seemed devoid of blessings. But in reality, I already had everything I needed to be happy. I lived in a peaceful society with access to food and modern conveniences, something past generations could only dream of. I realized that if I couldn't appreciate these blessings now, I never would. A shift in identity. As I practiced gratitude, my perspective began to change. I shifted my identity from external markers of success to inner growth. I stopped caring about others' opinions of me. I stopped defining myself by material possessions or achievements. I started finding joy in the process of self-improvement. The true measure of success. Here's the ultimate irony. By focusing on inner growth, I accidentally achieved the external success I had once desperately chased. As my mindset, skills, and confidence improved, so did my financial situation, relationships, and career. But by the time these external results arrived, I no longer cared about them as much. My happiness was no longer tied to them. The lesson. Inner growth is not a detour. It is the destination. Happiness, confidence, and fulfillment aren't waiting for you at the end of some achievement. They're cultivated through the process of becoming a better version of yourself. And that process? It's not just worthwhile, it's profoundly enjoyable. So if you're struggling, remember, true success begins within. And once you master your inner world, the outer world will follow. The secret to life, a path that continues to rise. There are two types of control in life. Control of the mind. Control of external circumstances. When we talk about visible results or achievements, we're referring to the control of external circumstances. On the other hand, inner growth pertains to the control of the mind. And here's the foundational principle of cause and effect. Inner growth is the cause, while visible results are the effect. If you want to improve your career, finances, relationships, or other aspects of your life, inner growth is the essential first step. Social success versus life success. From another perspective, social success, winners, is about external control. Life success, fulfilled souls, is about internal control. When you enjoy the process of inner growth as part of life success, you'll naturally find yourself moving closer to social success as well. This is why people often say things like, focus on self-improvement to get ahead in life. However, this common perspective often treats inner growth as merely a means to an end, a way to achieve visible results. But here's the deeper truth. Inner growth itself is a crucial result. Why inner growth is its own reward. When you experience personal growth, you gain something priceless. A stronger sense of self-worth and self-confidence. A heightened ability to feel and cultivate happiness. This transformation doesn't always produce visible results right away. It might not even be noticeable to others. But for you, the shift is profound. A shift in success metrics. As inner growth progresses, your definition of success starts to change. instead of measuring your worth based on external validation like career, wealth, or status. You begin to value your life based on self-evaluation, your own sense of fulfillment and happiness. The instinct to win versus the conscious journey. Our primal instincts push us to seek status and recognition. But as you grow internally, your conscious awareness expands. And you begin to see beyond these biological drives. You start asking yourself deeper questions. What truly matters in life? What do I genuinely want? This shift aligns with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where people move from basic survival-driven desires to higher-level aspirations like self-actualization and self-transcendence, from external to internal motivation. Psychologically, this is a transformation from external to internal motivation. What starts as a pursuit driven by external rewards evolves into a genuine love for the process itself. When you reach this stage, inner growth becomes not just a means to an end, but an end in itself, a deeply fulfilling outcome. How inner growth transforms your reality. As inner growth becomes your focus, an interesting phenomenon occurs. Your external reality begins to improve as a natural extension of your internal progress. Why? Because when your mind is clear, confident, and resilient, you make better decisions and approach life's challenges with greater ease. This creates a positive ripple effect, transforming both your inner and outer worlds. A journey of rebirth. When you commit to a journey of inner growth, everything begins to change. It's like experiencing a rebirth while still alive, a transformation of your entire life. The best part? This journey can continue indefinitely, with slow but steady progress over time. As a result, your self-esteem and happiness continue to rise. Your life's peak keeps getting higher year after year. The difference between external and internal anchors. For most people, life's peak happens early, because their identity depends on external anchors like youth, career, or social status. But for those who embrace inner growth, their peak rises with age, as their self-worth becomes rooted in something unshakable, their inner self. Inner growth isn't just a tool for achieving results. It's a profound result in and of itself. The wisdom of balance. In Taoism, balance between external and internal pursuits is vital. External success and visible achievements are wonderful, but they should be paired with a commitment to inner growth. Together, these create a harmonious, fulfilling life. How to start your journey? If you're wondering where to begin, start small. Our YouTube channel is a great resource. We share insights and stories about personal growth and self-discovery. In fact, this channel is a journey in itself, a documentation of my own inner growth. Think of it like a travel channel. Just as travelers explore different countries, inner growth is a journey of the mind and spirit. And like any good journey, it's not about comparison or competition. It's about enjoying the experience. An invitation. So, are you ready to enjoy the journey of inner growth? Take it at your own pace. Savor the process. And together, let's continue exploring this amazing adventure called life. Thank you for watching to the end. I deeply appreciate your time.